The Albatross on Underdog. It's a 2026 majors only PGA best ball contest with $50,000 to first. This year, $30,000, 30,000 entrants, 400,000 in prizes, $15 entry, 50K to first place. Like I said, last year it was a 50,000 person entrant. So in the final last year was, I think, 300 seat final, around that. So a little bit smaller this year. It's a 1-6, 1-5, 1-5 advance, and then a 200 person final. If you make the finals, $500. Not so bad. A top 10 will get you 5,000. If you get fifth place, you get 10,000, and so on. Pretty nice. Pretty nice payout. I wish maybe it was a little bit bigger. Maybe it was back to like the 50,000 size, but I think the 1 out of 5, 1 out of 5. Last year it was, I'm almost certain it was 1-6, 1-6, 1-6. So 1-5, 1-5. That to me doesn't change too much. Planning for the Masters, planning for Augusta, you have to advance out of your pod. There's 6 drafters, and you're gonna have to get first. So you expect to advance about a sixth of your teams. You'd want to be higher than that. But the thing you really need to plan for is doing well. Of course, you have the PGA, 1 out of 5 advance, so a slightly better chance of advancing, and practically every golfer is qualified for the PGA, it feels like. Like, everyone plays in the PGA, it seems. So, I wouldn't worry too much about that one. It's the Open, is the finals. The US Open is the semifinals, and you have to do very well there because also think about this. In your first pod, some drafters are gonna draft okay teams. Maybe a half of your pod will be sharp. When it regroups into the second round, it's going to be all of the sharps who advanced and some guys that get lucky, but the 1 out of 5 advance is actually much harder than it seems. So even though it's 1 out of 5 versus 1 out of 6, I still think it's equally as hard to advance in the quarterfinals. The semifinals being at the US Open, that matters a lot. So I do want some guys who have good course history. Um, and this year the US Open is going to be played at Shinnecock Hills Golf Course. The PGA is at Aeronomic Golf Club, of course, Masters at Augusta, and then the Open Championship at Royal Birkdale Golf Club, where 2017 is the last time they played it. And one Jordan Spieth won the Open, took the claret jug. So right now, it's only about a 1% filled tournament. We've got plenty of time. It closes the week before or leading up to the Masters, so that's going to be April 10th. Or I guess it's actually that morning. April 9th is that Thursday morning of the Masters. So April 9th it will close, and that's the gist of it. It's a super fun format, a super fun tournament. I've had a lot of success in it over the years. It's one of my favorite best ball tournaments contests to get into. I'm gonna jump in the lobby now. Let's do a fast draft in the Albatross. 30 seconds per pick. Good luck. If we can fill it, obviously. So we're waiting on one. Looks like we will be able to fill it pretty quickly, which is nice. And I'm going to scroll down and it's waiting to start. So here we go. I'm going to scroll down and show you some of my favorite picks later on. So guys who are already qualified for all the events. Ryan Fox doesn't have a great majors history, but he is qualified. Minwoo Lee is on track to be qualified for all the events. He had a 5th overall at a US Open in the past, so he's had some good run. Patrick Reed is a priority click for me. Kitayama has had some nice appearances over his career. Doesn't always get to play in the majors, but he's currently on track to be in them, all 4 of them this year. Billy Horschel had a runner-up at the Open 2 years ago. Doesn't always get to play in all the majors. He probably won't be at the Masters, shouldn't be at the Masters this year, but likely to play all the other 3. Outside of that, Rasmus Højgaard is a very nice pick. He probably will play at every single major this year. Never had like a truly outstanding finish, but is a guy to watch for sure. I'm 1 pick away, so I have the 102 here. Obviously Scheffler goes. I will go ahead and take Rory. More scroll down picks. Daniel Berger's okay. Novak's okay. Don't love either one of those. Sung J M is a really good scroll down pick. Probably the best scroll down pick in this range after Patrick Reed. I don't know why Sung J M is so low. He's already qualified for 3 of the majors. He will get into the PGA Championship. He had a 5th place finish at the Masters and 8th finish at the Masters a few years ago. He's finished 7th at the Open in the last 5 years. So that's interesting. Tom Kim, one of the worst picks on the board. He's not qualified for any of the majors, and he probably won't make any of them. But he was a first and second round Albatross draft pick as early as 2024. That drafting season, which is crazy. He really just fell off. Tom Kim, where are you? So Hideki, and then I'm going to mix it up. So this is my tier here. Hideki goes. I might go. Okay, Hovland goes. Mix it easy. I will go Cantlay this time. And then see who falls between Henley, McIntyre, Cam Young, Matt Fitzpatrick, English, Rose. This is where I start to throw in Spawn, Burns, Hatton. Connors, and then Sepp. Colin, who's been playing terribly, but it's like I probably do take Ben Griffin and maybe even Chris Goddard up ahead of Colin Morikawa the way he's been playing lately. Morikawa got cut at the Sony. He's just not having a good time. Henley's there. That's pretty sweet. So I go Rory, Cantlay, Henley. We look at Colin Morikawa, though. He's a 2-time major champion. And, in the last 5 years, out of his 20 majors, he's been in the top 25 14 times. He won the Open in 2021. Before that, he'd already won the U.S. Open, if I'm not mistaken. But recently, it's been cuts, a 23rd, a 50th, a 14th. He's very good at Augusta, so that is redeeming. He's also had a top 5, the PGA, 2 top 5s at the U.S. Open, and he's won the Open. So Colin Morikawa, for whatever it's worth, even though he's playing pretty terrible lately for himself, he's still, I think, sorry, it wasn't a U.S. Open. Did I say U.S. Open? I meant PGA. It was a PGA in 2020 that Colin Morikawa won. He's also won 4 times on the tour. Other than that, his history in the majors, though, is exceptionally good. It's one of the best. Pound for pound, start for start, Colin Morikawa is one of the best major tournament golfers in currently active. Obviously, there's guys who have more wins than him, like Scotty and Rory, even Brooks. But Morikawa is, I think, still super undervalued. He goes right before my pick in this one, so that's kind of funny how much I was talking him up, and then he goes. I probably do take Lowry ahead of Connors. Well, it's tough. I'm thinking about it. Yeah, I went ahead and just let it take Lowry, even though Lowry had a really bad season last year. He does well in the majors. He has also a pretty good profile in the majors. He's won the Open. That counts for a lot. And Corey Connors is still there and might have been the guy I took there anyways. Got her up and Straka went in between. I got to figure out how to get some Goddard up exposure, but it's going to be expensive. This is going to cost a lot to get Goddard up on a squad. Harmon is a great pick. Spieth is a great pick. Batia is fun. Cam Smith's a former Open championship champion and qualified for all 4 majors. He won the Open in 2022. Didn't do great last year. Cut from all 4 majors. So some of the live guys, they're kind of resting on their laurels, they're kind of riding their their past life on the PGA Tour. It's interesting. Let's see. Coming back to me, pick 35, pick 38. I like Harmon a lot. Cam Smith is fine. He should definitely do better going forward. Harry Hall is interesting. McNeely's interesting. Rye is okay. Adam Scott is probably a good pick. Former Masters champion. Adam Scott. Last year cut 19th, 12th cut. He's had better years than that. It's been up and down the last 5 years. McNeely doesn't have a ton of course history, but should be in every event. Same thing with Harry Hall. Let's see Woo Kim. Siwoo Kim seems like he's having a good season. Cam Smith is still there. I will take Cam Smith ahead of these guys, given that he's already won a major and he's in all 4 events, of course, because of that qualification. I don't think Cam Smith's playing a whole lot these days, but the dude was the talk of the town back in 2022 won the Players and the Open. So can he just get back to what he's up to? I actually did. He got second at the Crown Australian Open. That's not terrible, but still, Cam Smith is still young. He can still get it done. This is interesting. Harry Hall. Do I go Jason Day? I go to my history on Jason Day, former Open champion. Day's kind of nice in these events. Do I want to go Harry Hall though? I've got a lot of good history at Augusta, so I'm tempted to take Hall there, who might be someone that can surprise at the Open or do well at the PGA as well. Before I forget, I need to get Patrick Reed. Oh, damn. Literally, as I said it, I should have taken Patrick Reed ahead of Harry Hall. That's the mistake I just made. That one was a mistake. Sung J M's already jumped up 20 spots in ADP. He's clearly a good pick. Probably a better pick than Adam Scott at this rate. Almost certainly. Sung J M's a good pick. Rasmus Højgaard's becoming a good pick in this range. I don't know. He hadn't gone yet. Minwoo is interesting. Pendrith, we learned, had a pretty bad history here. What age range usually is a golfer's prime? It's hard to say. It's been changing. It's been changing. I don't have certain golfers get into a prime at different parts in their career. Sometimes their prime can be their late 20s, early 30s. Sometimes it's their early mid 20s, which is rare. Adam Scott, or do I want to go? Adam Scott is definitely past his prime, but still a really good golfer. I can throw in an Adam Scott. Adam Scott can surprise. Some golfers get into their prime in like their late 30s, early 40s. So it's hard to exactly say on that front, Hartman, but it's kind of case by case and person by person. But you can kind of follow like their career trend, and it didn't work for a guy who's on the live golf. But if you look at like, I don't want to do Tiger because it's too far back to go Tiger, but let's look at Siwoo Kim. Siwoo Kim is 30, and he's kind of been in his prime for like he's been a pro for like forever. He went pro when he was, I think, 17 or something or whatever it was. So he's kind of still in his prime, still ascending slowly, and he's 30. So it's a good spot to be in. I took Rasmus Højgaard. I'm cool with that pick. I actually did want him there. Gerard went. Pingay went. Marco Pinge. Hey, Fantasy Dog, my man. Boom. With the $5 dono. Thank you so much, Fantasy Dog. Hope you're doing great, brother. Hey, we got some golf content on the stream tonight. I know you're out there watching. Fantasy Dog, have you played out at La Quinta? Have you played out at the Pete Dye Stadium course? Have you been out there in Palm Desert? Who do you like? Who you liking this week? I got to know. I got to know. So good to see my man. Appreciate the dono. Thanks for being here. Who do you like at the American Express? And have you played out there? I bet you have. Maybe. Have you? Have you been out to Palm Desert? There's a million golf courses out there. But I'm interested to know. So we're drafting the Albatross right now. It's the majors only. PGA best ball and underdog. One of my favorite formats. It's like, obviously, NFL best ball, number one in my heart. But I've had the most success in best ball in my contest on the Albatross. And it's my second favorite by far. It's so fun. Just draft the best golfers, try to win majors, sweat it out 4 days at a time, 4 times a year. No, sir. I don't know, sir. Like Bryson. Bryson is live. Oops. Yeah, we can draft live golfers. I just took a Cameron Smith on this one. We can draft some live golfers because they do play in the majors, of course. Bridgman. I don't think Glover gets much. Kiefer and Wrighton are interesting. So I'm going to look up Bridgman real quick. Didn't have much history, but he's in all of the events. I'll let a Bridgman hit. Maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I should do it for a Wrighton, Nearguard Peterson. Sung Jae In was already gone. I could do a Kiefer. Boom. Johnny Kiefer. Come on down. Kiefer currently not in any of the majors. So that was probably a terrible pick. I don't know why I thought that was a good pick for a second there. But I picked him. I think he'll probably play into some. He is a rookie on the tour. So we need him to win or... No, maybe I got a bad lookup or something. Kiefer's, I knew he was in some. Kiefer could be in all of them. Something's going on with my lookup. I got to fix it. Because that's not correct. Kiefer must not be in the data that I pulled. Something's fishy there. I'll figure it out. But I want to go with Brennan. I knew Kiefer was in a lot of stuff. Brennan's gone. I could do Bridgman. I could do Reeton. I'll do Bridgman. Who are the scroll downs that I really like? Sam Stevens is kind of interesting. Oh, I missed Haotung Lee. I forgot to go for Haotung Lee. He's the scroll down that I wanted. I missed Haotung Lee. I missed Reed. Patrick Reed. I missed him. What's going on with my Kiefer lookup? Something's fishy with the way I've got Kiefer right now. It's not pulling in his ranks, and it's not pulling in his data for his qualifications. But I need to fix that one. That is interesting that it's not showing up. Valimaki is another one that I like. Sammy. I like Sammy Valimaki. I'll throw him in first. And then let me look up Samuel Stevens. Sam Stevens. There he is. Sam Stevens not qualified for a whole lot. So let me I don't know why I thought he was qualified for more. Could always do Horschel. Oh, Davis Riley. Davis Riley's kind of a sneaky one. He's qualified for 2 and should be qualified for more. He had a runner up at the PGA last year. I do think Davis Riley's a sneaky pick. If Sammy's not there, I'll get some Davis Riley. I'm not afraid. Sammy or Davis Riley, either way, totally happy with that. And then I need to figure out what the hell's going on with Kiefer. Adrian Sadier, the Frenchman, he's currently qualified for everything but the Masters. Kind of interesting. Not a lot of course history, tournament history, or on the clock. Valimaki, Davis Riley. Let's go Valimaki. I will sprinkle in Davis Riley, though. I think he needs to be drafted, and he's going undrafted, as you can see. So I got to figure out what's up with the Kiefer stuff. On Grazerman, Grazerman was a pick that I liked last year. He's still, top 33 in the world, top 60 in data golf. He's only qualified right now for the Masters, technically, but he is in all four of the events. He should be in all four of the events. So he is technically a guy that I think. Where did he go in this one? Because I had him in my corner of my eye for a bit. He's a guy that I want to draft as well. I don't want to have none. Young up and comer, doesn't have a ton of history. Done pretty well at the U.S. Open. That's a good sign. 2 top 25 finishes at the last 2 U.S. Opens. Those are really hard tournaments to do well in. So Grazerman's a guy. I think Grazerman. The hell is going on with my Johnny Kiefer? Oh, are they calling him John Kiefer versus Johnny Kiefer? Found it. I found the problem with the lookup. Underdog calls him John Kiefer. Everyone else calls him Johnny. So I'll need to just crosswalk Johnny to John. I thought I had fixed all the names. There's a lot of funky names in here. Samuel Stevens, Sam Stevens, Cameron Davis, Cam Davis, Hoygaard, but they have the little funny O for the Hoygaard. Both of them for the Twins. I got to fix the Johnny Kiefer. I knew there's something wrong. I was like, Johnny Kiefer's in all the events. He's a top 50 player in the world as a rookie on the tour. He didn't do great at the Sony. I was hoping he'd do better than that. So we still need to see. And he's in the field for the American Express. I like Johnny Kiefer. He's a big up and comer. Going to be a star, I think. All right, let's see. I'll fix that after. We'll keep drafting. We'll do another draft, another Albatross draft, and then we'll fix the Johnny Kiefer. Maybe I can fix it as we fly this plane. Grazerman needs to be drafted. I was going to pull up Grazerman. Boom. So this is Grazerman's profile. He's technically in all the majors, and I think he will be. He doesn't have any professional wins on the PGA Tour. Didn't win on the Corn Ferry either, apparently, or any tours. So he's a loser. He's not a winner, but no, I think he's pretty good. He's had a lot of runner-ups. Runner-up at the Rocket last year, runner-up at the Bay Current, and he's done decent at the U.S. Open. So Grazerman's good. 2024, he had a hot streak. He T10 at the Texas Children's, had a second at the 3M, a second at the Wyndham, a second at the Zozo Championship, a fourth at the Worldwide Technology Championship towards the end of the season. So going into 2025, Grazerman was on a hype train, and he didn't disappoint so much, but he's definitely come down a little bit. At one point, he was like a top 20 guy, which is pretty incredible. He's probably still a top 60 guy, and so I think he's definitely worth drafting, but doesn't have any big wins to show for. It's kind of a thing, and he doesn't have so much course history for being a 30-year-old guy on the tour. Some guys start on the tour when they're 20, some 30. You never know. So there's kind of different timelines. Could Kiefer stuff a lot of his like stats and things, and a lot of like the reason why he has his rankings is from Corn Ferry, but it's kind of already factored in. Fantasy Dog's home course used to 10 years ago host USGA qualifiers. That's nice. A 2.4 or lower handicap. Jeez. Incredible. Mm. Yes, ASAP with the clutch information. We did know this. I actually, after I think you said this like a week ago, or people were saying it. I don't know if it's been a full week yet, but I did. I screenshotted that and added it to my note for all the PGA news on my phone. That's probably why you're right that he's going so late. That's a good thing to remember because we don't know what the hell is going on with his wrist and when Sung J M is going to come back and play. So this is good. I think he might be a wait and see guy. I don't think he's worth taking an overexposed amount of right now at his current ADP because it's so depressed. Um, because of the injury risk, we'll get more information as the season goes on. If he comes back, starts to play events, does some, top 10s, top 25s, we'll feel pretty good. And then it's full steam ahead. But ADP is not a crazy factor in this tournament. So I think even if you're waiting till later to get more news, is probably the smartest thing to do. So I would say be definitely underexposed to Sung J M right now. Imagine we get news after a week or two that he has a surgery or take some time off or whatever re-aggravates it. Bad news can escalate quickly. Fantasy Dog almost sitting an Albatross. Very nice. Clearly, I've never had an Albatross in my golf career. Never had a hole in one. Um, Honestly, I can't remember if I've ever eagled. I'd be lying if I said I remembered scoring an eagle, so I might not have done it yet. But there's a chance I've done it in my home course when I was a kid. I played a lot of golf when I was in high school and stuff, middle school, high school, just growing up, and then I play less now than I did back then. But definitely not hit any eagles lately. I wonder. I don't know. I had to really think about that. No, I don't think I've never had an eagle on a par four. That's for sure. I'm trying to think of all the par fives. Fantasy Dog, I know this for a fact. You could fix my short game in an hour, I'm sure. My around the green. I've been working on it though. Fantasy Dog, I don't know if I'd mentioned to you, my home course now currently is Memorial Park, where they play the Texas Children's Houston Open. So I go to Memorial Park almost every weekend to go putt and chip. They're renovating the driving range right now, but I go drive there and then I'll play there occasionally. I mostly play 18 in Austin when I'm with my family. My father-in-law has a membership to Georgetown Country Club. It's a little small neighborhood, sweet hill country golf course out there in the central Texas, but we I play with him a lot. So I'm getting most of my rounds in on 18 there. I'm doing most of my practice over at Memorial. And then I have a little chipping and putting set up in my backyard that me and my daughter will mess around with when the weather's nice. We get out there. We're out there for a while this weekend. I probably hit 100 balls just trying to work on my short game, little chip shots out there. But yes, I have no doubts, Fantasy Dog, if you caddied for me, I would break 90 and I might even break 85. Might even. Okay, we're going Xander here because people are sleeping on the two-time major champion Xander Schauffele. Yes, his is a very nice little country club. It's like a little neighborhood course and it's just there's a lot of natural beauty. The first hole you tee off, the elevation change, it must be 100 feet to the hole, like the pin. It's like you're driving straight up a hill. It's kind of funny. Okay, here I'm gonna sprinkle in Hovland this time. I think even over Brooks. I think I'm gonna push to see if Brooks' ADP continues to fall, and I still draft some Brooks, but I'm gonna get some Hovland there. And, yeah, they have a nice little, country club, and there's only so many members, but it's a smaller neighborhood too, and I feel like he's retired, so he practically lives there, literally. It's always a lot of fun. But beautiful, there's it's cliffside, it's on the San Gabriel River, so there's a river that goes through the golf course, and there's this, there's literally cliffs in the hill country with, very steep drop-offs. It's pretty incredible, the terrain there. It's difficult. It's a pretty difficult. I don't know what, the course plays, like, the handicap, I don't have it memorized like that, but it's a pretty difficult course. And if you go OB, there's cactus, there's, like I said, cliffs that you can hit a ball off a cliff and just never get to it. There's little valleys in between some of the holes. So it's a fun one. A lot of water. There's the river that goes along it, and there's creeks and stuff. There's a lot of water hazards. No lakes, but just all these little rivers and creeks. Very fun. Great to get out there. I don't know when I'll be out there playing next. We're in for some terrible weather this weekend, so almost certainly not going to be practicing outdoors this weekend. The big freeze that's sweeping across the southeast United States coming up. Okay, Sam Burns, I already know I don't want him ahead of Cam Young or Hatton or Spawn, probably even Rose, Lowry, English, Connors, Morikawa, Griffin. I have to get Goddard at some point. Can't forget Reed this time. I do love Cam Young though. Let me go with Cameron Young. Cameron Young has just so many solid finishes in the majors in his career, and so just bet on that. And he's really strong at the Open too. So out of his last, and he hasn't even played 20 majors in the last, 5 years. I guess he's played, quick math, minus 1, 2, 3. He's played 17. 6 out of 17 top 10 finishes is a very nice pace to be at. Spawn, on the other hand, he won the US Open last year at Oakmont, but that was his only top 10 finish in a major in the last 5 years, and he hadn't played a lot of the majors in the last 5 years. He hadn't qualified at hardly any of them. So, all right, we got Justin Rose here at pick 18, or do we go with someone like a Ben Griffin or a Goddard or Connors English? Rosie has still got it. I mean, he is still playing at a high level. I'm gonna go Rose. But this next grouping, there's a lot of guys in here I like. I got to throw Reed in here before I forget, because I'm gonna forget, and he's still gonna be going higher than his ADP. Let's see, and then I got to remember to kind of change up some of these middle round picks. Take a risk on a guy like a Rye, some Aaron Rye. I don't know about Michael Kim. This is not really the right format for Michael Kim. What's so funny is, the scramble, Michael Kim's a first round pick, 1-2 turn pick. The Albatross, he's, in the 40s, 50s, and even there, I don't really want to draft him. All right, I took Cam Smith last time. I will go Brian Harmon this time. I feel like Nick Taylor is just always pretty disappointing in the majors. So I probably need to factor that in a little bit. Move up day, a couple spots. And like I said, Aaron Rye is not too bad. Jason Day has had some up and down years at majors recently. Still, I think he's a guy that can put up points at both Augusta and the Open and everywhere in between. The problem with Day, he's not currently scheduled to be in the Open. I need to remember that. He's not currently scheduled to be in the Open or the PGA. No, or the US Open or the Open. I think he'll qualify for them, but I don't want to be drafting him too much this early. He's top 62 in the world, so I want to say top 70 in the world get into the US Open and top 60 in the world get into the Open at Royal Birkdale. At least that's what it was last year, if I'm not mistaken. Those were the cutoffs. I'm pretty sure everyone gets into the PGA. It's like top 100. I'm gonna risk it. I think I can take Keegan Bradley or Akshay here. I'm gonna go Keegan. Maybe I should go Akshay. I've got some guys who are strong at the Open: Harmon, Rose, Young, Hovland, Shoffley. I can afford to take a guy like Keegan, who might not have been performing so well at the Open in recent years. More of a PGA, US Open kind of guy. It's been a long time since Keegan Bradley won his major, his PGA championship, over a decade ago. But he's been playing pretty decent lately. He won the Travelers last year, pretty decent tournament too. Pretty strong field. Second time he'd won the Travelers in the last 3 years. So I just need to remember that about Day. Day is not automatically qualified for all of the majors this year. He's in two of them, and he's not necessarily on track to get into the other two based on money leader and based on world ranking. He's kind of borderline, so that's a little bit scary. That you could get a guy who's not only not qualified for some of the majors, but the two that are at the end of the season that count for the most, getting you to the finals and being in the finals. And you just never know. Sometimes, having a golfer who, God, Patrick Reed goes right for my pick. That's really depressing. I need to get more Patrick Reed, and I don't know how I'm going to force it in, but it has been tough to get him tonight. Huge bummer. I'll take Matt McNeely though. He doesn't have a ton of good course history and tournament history in these majors, but he's a good golfer. He's starting to play a little bit better. We need to see Matt McNeely get some wins. He's another guy that his only win was at the RSM. He can do better than that. He had a runner up at the Genesis last year. It was pretty nice. Ludwig won that one. Are you any good out of the sand, my friend? I'm not bad. I've never had a big issue getting out of the sand. I think I've got a little bit lucky. I generally am always pleasantly surprised on my sand saves and getting out and being able to keep the ball uh and not running it past the hole. So do I want to go Adam Scott here or do I want to limit my exposure to him? I'm gonna go Rasmus. Again, I might end up with too much Rasmus right now at this point in the year. Scott is in two. He should qualify for the PGA. He might qualify for the US Open. Adam Scott, 68th in the world, so you just don't know for sure. What was it Kitayama? Minwoo Lee should get in all of the majors. I'm pretty certain, although he's only technically qualified for the Masters. Kurt Kitayama is qualified for the Masters and the PGA, but should get into the Open and should get into the US Open. Kitayama, surprisingly, I want to say he's had some nice finishes. T4 at the PGA. I guess that's it. Just that one. No, I'm thinking of someone else. Either way, Kitayama goes. I'm gonna skip Adam Scott. Well, I wasn't gonna take him this time. I'm gonna scroll down to some guys who don't have as much course history, but are in a lot of these events. Rasmus Njergaard Peterson stands out. Brennan. Oh, Hao Tsung Lee. Let's get Lee. Boom. Valimaki. Hao Tong Lee is a great pick here this late in the draft. Horschel's not bad. Bridgman's kind of a, in case I have no one else that I want to select that comes up. Let me search for Brennan. Has Brennan already gone? Brennan's available. Kiefer again. Kiefer's unproven. Bezadenhout. I think Bezadenhout doesn't have a lot of eligibility, which kind of sucks. I mentioned Ryan Fox. I want to get guys who are a little bit underdrafted. Davis Riley, maybe even Patrick Rogers, although he's not going to be in the Masters. And he doesn't have any good Majors history. Davis Riley, before I forget, I do like him. So I'm going to do Brennan here. Do I want to do Brennan? I might get some Grazerman too. It's tough for young guys to do really well. I don't know if I've taken Brennan yet. I'll get one Brennan. It's really hard for these young up and coming guys, these kind of like future stars to do well. But if he's the next, Cam Young or Ludwig, if he's something on the tour, can say the same thing about John Kiefer. Johnny Kiefer, he's in a grouping with Scotty Scheffler, and Sung J M is, I think it's like the number one on the Corn Ferry Tour. Something else. I forget what it is. Rookie of the year or something. They talked all about it last week at the Sony. They had a little infographic about it. Fantasy Dog, the part of my game I got to fix is my off the tee. I am slicing right now. I'm swinging inside to outside. I'm slicing the ball to the right, and I got to fix it. I'm not reliable enough hitting fairways off the tee. Got to fix that. Irons are good. Fairway woods are surprisingly good. Putting can always get better. Short game around the green needs to get better, but I could save myself 5 to 8 strokes around if I can improve off the tee, because I'm losing balls OB, I'm losing balls in the water, and then I'm hitting the ball far as hell, but then I'm putting myself in a bad spot. If it's a dog leg left and I'm on the right side of the course, and then, you're in a rough and a bad lie on a hill, ball above the feet, chunk my second shot, that kind of thing. That's where I'm struggling right now. Okay, I'm going to throw in, who do I want? What is Horschel qualified for again? 3 of the events, not the Masters. Am I good for the Masters with the guys that I have? I don't know. I'm gonna get Davis Riley first and then come back to that thought. If Horschel's not in the Masters, I think I do want another guy who's a killer at the Masters. I didn't get Patrick Reed. Who's good at the Masters? Sung J M is, but he might not play with his wrist. Homa, but he's only qualified for the Masters, which sucks. Zalatoris, but also not qualified for the Masters. Phil Mickelson, I don't think he's gonna play. Is Phil gonna play all the majors this year? I have not been drafting Phil for a while now. Aldrich Potgieter's interesting. I might just go Kiefer again. Brennan and Kiefer on a team. It's kind of much. It's a little bit much. Poston hasn't been drafted, but Poston's not in shit. Fox is gone. Oh, Grazerman. Boom. And Grazerman is already in the field at the Masters. Perfect. Let's go. I like this squad. If for not, if you don't get Scotty Scheffler, you're gonna want someone else who can get it done. And imagine Xander wins a major, Hovland wins his first major, Cam Young wins his first major. Wow. Rose can have some runners up. Harmon can have some nice finishes. Who knows with Keegan Bradley? And these guys can surprise, have some top tens somewhere along the road. Thanks for being here. Next Wednesday, we'll be talking everything for the farmers. We'll be doing more golf streams. I might even have some pop-up Albatross draft streams later this week. Stay tuned for what's going on Friday, Saturday. We might get iced in, so I might be going live Saturday if the power doesn't go out. But all that good stuff. Thanks so much for being here. Peace out, guys.